To defy the odds, you have to risk everything and take chances. At Old Nation Brewing Company, we did just that. From an unknown startup brewery to standing alongside national craft brands in just under a decade, we remain one of the last of the large, independently owned breweries in Michigan. Our beer is respectfully brewed using only the highest quality ingredients, and we don't cut corners. With the times changing for everyone, one thing that stays the same is Old Nation's respect for great beer and the people who love it. We're growing in cans produced and fans made. When you taste our beer, you'll know why.
All right, let's get back to the people. We'll get with Ticket Text. We have time. Obviously, we're here till 6. We got to talk to our guy. We've gone on kind of an adventure. I offered Mark away, but he said no. No, El Capitan. I am going down with this ship. We go to Mark in Rochester. Mark, I'd ask how you're doing, but I know the answer is terrible. So let's just move to the take me through the emotions of Saturday.
Yeah, I went down with the ship. I reached halftime, and the cash out wasn't very high. It was around $7K compared to where I wanted it to be, and I just saw a 10-point game and just wanted to stick to what I believed in, and I went down with the ship. It sucked, and the minute that I saw Jamison Williams, spin out, and I was like, he's not throwing this ball, is he? And then I saw it clearly wasn't going to be open, and I saw him cock that arm back. Oh, my gosh. I can't believe what I watched. I finished the game, and I said, you know what? I need a break. I'm done. I need to go learn to paint or something. I bought a bottle of Basil Hayden and a piano, and I'm just gonna retire. I'm done. I am done with the sport, with this game right now. I'll see you at the draft, Mike. That was absolutely brutal. I went down with the ship.
You know what, Mark? It was funny because right after the game, I'm talking with Mike, and I'm like, "What about Mark?" And he was like, "Oh my God!" And I was sitting there thinking like, at halftime, if they offer him about 9,000, just hit the accept button as fast as you can. But I get it. It was a 10-point game, and you thought that they could come back and get this thing done. But Mark, oh my goodness, hang in there. That's all I got to say.
It was a decision of either I can take this money, or if they pull it out, what does that do? And I want to ride with it. In terms of the game, I look at that game, and I cannot believe the impact or lack of impact from our defensive line. I think of you, Rico, saying we should take Jordan Davis, and we took JMO. I remember, we should take Jalen Carter, and we end up with Gibbs. You look at all the available young players available through either free agency or through a trade: Montez Sweat, Daniil Hunter, Brian Burns, Christian Wilkins, and even Chase Young, which gave us the chair drop. And then we end up with the geezers, the Darius Smith. It's like, Brad Holmes, if you're listening, if the Lions scouting team is listening, we are on our hands and knees. Get us a D lineman or an edge rusher. We need to get in the face of an opposing quarterback. I don't know why that hasn't been there.
Hey, Mark, it's been an interesting tact by them is that, to me, the most important unit in today's NFL is your defensive line, and they've chosen a little bit of a duct tape approach to it. Now, look, they hit a home run with Aiden. Aleem has been very good, but he struggles to stay healthy. I mean, let's be fair now. This is 2 straight years. Aleem is elite, but Aleem is also hurt a lot. And I got to tell you, did you read that report yesterday, Mark, Rico, anybody, about Aleem and no timetable of a return and stuff? That's a guy who you may not see back till mid-October.
Yeah. And here's the thing about Aiden, Mike. Was it really a home run? Because he was right there. He was the second pick.
Yeah, that's like giving credit to Troy Weaver for Cade Cunningham.
Okay. Guys, okay, I'll stand down. I was just saying factually he's a really good player. But no,
he is.
But I'm with Mark on this.
Before people sit there and say, oh, you're slandering Aiden. No, I'm not.
No, he's a home run.
Right. He was right there.
The point, I'm with Mark on this, is look, their answer was, hey, we'll sign oft-injured Marcus Davenport. Dead. Now, they've paid Aleem McNeil, which I don't have a problem with, but it's 2 years in a row being hurt. The Carlton Davis thing. Always hurt guy, end season hurt. Mark is right in this regard. This offseason, there has to be, I don't want to invoke the name, but they've got to get another Hellraiser up front. Yeah. And I don't want to hear about cost. I don't want to hear about the cap. The cap ain't real. They're going to have to do something because Washington can't run the ball. They ran it for 7 yards a carry. Jaden Daniels had all day, even when you blitzed him. And part of that, Kingsbury coached circles around you. The ball was out quick. Yeah. Jaden also was willing to stand. That throw to De'Ami Brown. I mean, you framed that thing. He stood in, got his head taken off, and still threw a dime 40 yards down the field.
No, but Mike, it was Robinson just running 7, 8, 9 yards just right up the middle. It was like a basic high school play. There was nuance to it. He was just, I'm bigger than you, and I'm going to go right up the middle.
And by the way, if you're just joining the show, Aaron Glenn is in New York live, and the reports are they don't want him leaving the building. So again, some of you slander Aaron Glenn. The point I'm making to you is I can't take the approach that other people, fans, shows have taken. Losing both coordinators is a death nail.
Yeah.
You may hit one of them, but I think it is. And by the way, Hank Fraley has a second interview in Seattle. You might lose your O-line coach, too.
Well, and the D-line coach
I was just about to say.
Go ahead, Rico.
Terrell Williams could be headed to the Patriots to be their D coordinator.
So if you think I'm going to tell you everything's fine, it's not. It's why when you get your chances, you better get home. So do I think a step back is very possible next year? Yeah, like 55, 60%, yeah. And maybe the step back is 10 or 11 wins and you're still very good. But it is really hard to find one good coordinator in this league. Impossible to find two. You lose them both in the same offseason. There's a reason no team has ever won a Super Bowl the following year. It's really hard to do.
Yeah.
So we'll keep our eyes on the Aaron Glenn thing, but you're replacing a lot of staffers. Dan Campbell's going to be put to a hell of a test. Oh, but Andy Reid has lost coordinators. Andy Reid has Michael Jordan. It's not the same. He also has Taylor Swift. She is impacting the officiate. There is something going on. Friendship bracelets for calls. Something's going on. Eras tickets, calls. It's not the same. What? Those calls against Houston were criminal.
Wait, I'm called the conspiracy theorist, right? I'm the one in the tinfoil caps, right?
Oh, correct.
This is what he says to me.
Mm-hmm.
And this comes out of his Taylor Swift friendship bracelets, and you get calls. Wow. Okay. You know what?
Kindly leave. I can't take anymore.
But Caitlin Clark was there.
Right. It's okay.
Let's just go to Brian.
Angel Reese was on the Texans side.
Okay, we'll go to Brian, 97.1. What's up, Brian?
Hi, guys. That game was just such a letdown. I've watched every Lions game since I was 10 years old. I'm 29 now, and I just don't think I can do it anymore.
Yes, you can.
I'm not going to be my dad who tunes in every week and says they'll win one day. I don't believe they will. Like, I agree with what you said. The last 2 years were the best chances they'll probably ever have, at least for a long time, right? And so I just don't, I think what you said about 10, 11 wins next year, that's probably what's going to happen. It could be worse. They could go 7-10.
Well, I'm not going to predict that. All I'm trying to caution people is there is only one place to go from 15-2. And losing coordinators, it is very challenging. So we got to give them an opportunity to hire people. But I'm trying to get people's expectations in line. There's a very real chance that they're nowhere near as good next year. And, but the defense will be healthy. Right, but the changes that have to be made, the amount of overturn, and it's also just really damn hard in this league to just keep winning. Mm-hmm. And your division, the same one that had 3 playoff teams that went 40-11, better pray to God the Bears don't get it right, because you're in the hardest division in football.
Yeah, they just dropped a minute-long video of Ben Johnson walking through the facility, clapping it up. We got it right.
And again, I have no idea if it'll work. But the Bears made the best hire in the cycle, right? It's Vrabel and it's Ben Johnson. Vrabel was built to be a Patriot. Ben Johnson was built to take that Bears job. Will it work? I don't know. You better pray it doesn't. Because otherwise, one of the unicorns that just beat you in the playoffs is in your division. Mm-hmm. Ask David what it's like to face Lamar twice a year or Burrow twice a year. Answer, it's a bitch. I know you can't say that as a pastor. I did. That's me, God, not David. Me.
What about Geno Smith? Huh? I know. Kindly leave.
You're out of order. You want to do ticket text? A couple of them before we get to the people?
Yeah, I got a few of them here. Someone says, I won't feel better until the season starts again in the fall, but I will never get over this loss. They blew the best chance they ever had. No way these opportunities keep coming for the Detroit Lions.
But is this a better opportunity than up 17 in San Francisco? Where you win game, you're actually going to the Super Bowl. Guys, you knew the doubts I had about this. It wasn't going to be a soulless ginger. You saw what Philadelphia just did. If Washington was averaging 7 yards a carry, what the hell were they going to come here and do? In a lot of ways, it's better it happened now than in the Super Bowl. I know you disagree with that, but losing a Super Bowl is the worst thing ever.
It is, but you were built for this year. You were 15-2.
I understand that.
You were at the top of the game. You outscored people by 222 points.
You're yelling at me like Luke Sloan.
Sorry.
I don't like it. His updates, he just screams at people.
I know.
Ridiculous.
That's what Kenny said earlier. He says, "Oh, get him out of here." Oh, Kenny, I love it. Adam from Philly says 2 things from Saturday. Someone explained 14 carries from Jahmyr Gibbs, that defense, inexcusable by BJ. And secondly, the loss will take away from the craziest touchdown celebration I've ever seen in my life. Shout out to Waymo.
You can have it. Celebrating at the 18 in a playoff game and then impregnating the end zone. Yeah, you miss me with that. I just, look, all that stuff, guys are having 7-yard carries, and I got to look at the histrionics and all this crap. Dude, it ain't for me. It's for the kids.
Very Roy Williams-esque. Oh, they got a first down. Like, okay, you're down by 10. Let's get back to the huddle. But
I think the positive impact this could have, and it won't be today, it won't be next week, it won't be in a month, but maybe there's more of a business-like approach next year, because I really believe as a franchise they got over their skis. They just got they thought they were He-Man, and the fans imitated it, and it all fell apart Saturday.
Yeah, I think that they're going to have to prioritize the defensive line. They're going to have to go out there.
Great, so let's start these shows. Go get Max Crosby. There you go. What, you already heard what he just said? Didn't you hear Crosby's latest comments?
Yeah.
He's envious of what they got going on here. Then, hey, Max, this one's from me to you. Stop being a coward. Call your agent. Demand a trade. I'll pick you up at Metro.
I was just going to say, or just draft some young defensive players.
I'll give you a tattoo budget. First 3, on the house.
He's got no place left.
Put one on his forehead or something. I don't know. I'm making a point. They
got
got
like the Sandwich of the Month Club with tattoos. What are we doing
here?
here?
Jelly of the Month Club with Clark Griswold.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, Clark.
My point is, they're going to have to do something because Aleem is going to be on the mend, and it may not be till midseason. Aiden's coming off a broken leg. They have no one else. Onzarique's gone. Davenport's gone. Like, they need, and DJ Reader, I loved him past tense. I don't think he was very good this year.
Whatever you do, just don't draft just a regular old nose tackle like Jalen Carter.
Why do you see this is the problem?
Nah, that was for cookies.
This guy doing a victory lap over here. Well, then just text him.
I did.
Oh, perfect.